Oh boy, everybody. You're probably not listening, but welcome to QRZR, the Razor's Edge, broadcasting live from Bristleburg, USA. We're having all kinds of problems today. Time, Miguelito, my producer, my most trusted right hand. What's going on?
We jumped onto the internet today, and it's a little different than terrestrial radio, you know what I mean?
It sure is, and it turns out it doesn't work as well.
No.
You know, I don't know how radio works. I've never understood it. I've been doing this for upwards of 3 decades and downwards of 2.5. And I don't understand. I understand that it's something like waves going out into the universe. We see those little...
That's exactly right.
Yeah, you see those little radio symbols. It's like a stick with some curvy lines coming out of it.
But isn't that also what the radio is, too? Sometimes they use that for the...
I'm hearing a lot of talking from over there, Miguelito, and not a lot of updating the link so people can listen to the live stream. Because it's a future radio. They're going to shut this thing down any day.
I am working on it.
And we're going to have to do this thing from a basement somewhere instead of the cushy Dom DeLuise studios here in beautiful Bristleburg. He stopped in town one time, and we named the radio station and the regional airport after him. Anyway... we got a great show for you tonight. I'm Buzz Thunderknuckle. As always, we got Miguelito here. He's working double duty. You know, I'm riding him hard. Riding him hard like a camel, the ship of the ocean, the ship of the desert. But he's doing the Lord's work over there, getting this thing to work.
Thanks.
And I swear to God, oh man, I'm getting so many comments coming in saying the YouTube channel isn't working. But, you know, we're going to get that figured out, and we're going to get to you as quickly as we can. It's a great show. As always, this month brought to you by the Reddest Lobster, the swanky new Red Lobster. It's a VIP, members-only Red Lobster. You know, folks, I haven't been in the Reddest Lobster because we don't have one yet here in the beautiful city of Bristleburg. But I hear they have a giant tank that you can go in and you can actually wrestle with a big lobster. The kind of big lobsters that only the good people at Red Lobster can get. And you can sit on a lobster, and then after you've sat on it and you've wrestled it, you can just eat it. If anybody's listening right now, you can call in at any time. Our number is 312-313-0582. That number again is 312-313-0582. And if you do call in, please make sure to guess the secret word. We're going on for 57 months straight now. Everyone's trying to guess a secret word. If you do guess a secret word, you will win a collection of beautiful seashells from the Bristleburg Seashell Museum. Bristleburg, of course, is a landlocked city, but they have a lovely collection. I go down there. I'm their spokesperson, and I go down there 5-6 times a week. And I look at the shells, and sometimes they give me a shell. They give me a beautiful sort of swirly mother of pearl shell, and I bring it home. And gosh.
Hey, just to update.
Yeah.
The link is coming into your inbox hot.
Great. I can't wait to get that out.
Well, we got the regular viewers listening on the terrestrial radio, so we know we can rely on that.
Well, you know, our viewers are our friends, and our friends are our viewers. I don't have any other friends who are not viewers. But let me just go ahead and check in. You know, I had a heck of a day. It was a beautiful, beautiful rainy day here in Bristleburg.
What'd you do today?
I walked around. I put on my galoshes.
People don't do that anymore.
And I put on my... nobody walks. Because I was... and I can tell this for certain because I was out there. I was walking around. I was stomping in the puddles, looking at little snails, walking around, slithering around on the ground, seeing all the snails. And they're beautiful shells, like the beautiful shells of the Bristleburg Seashell Museum. Mm-hmm. And I just thought, nature, it's kind of, it's weird and it's fun, but it's worth it in the end, you know?
I agree. I think it's, when it's rainy outside, it's almost better, you know?
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to try and get that link out to everybody right now, but I want to welcome our guest today. His name is Jeffries. He's a comedian. He's joining us all the way from New York City. I believe this is first time. My memory's not very good. I believe this is his first time on QRZR. So let's give a big Bristleberg welcome to Jared Jeffries. Jared, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Oh, so good to have you here.
It's my first time on the show. Buzz.
Buzz Thunderknuckle, and of course Miguelito.
That's because you weren't introduced me originally as Buzz. I guess that's a stage name. I just want to make sure that
It is not.
It is not. Is that?
It is a given name.
That is my given name of the Bristleberg Thunderknuckles. My mom's name. The Thunderknuckles. My mother's name. She was a very progressive woman. She was a Thunderknuckle.
We were just talking about this. We were just
talking about it before the show. She did not know my father very well, and I didn't know him at all.
And so you kept your mother's maiden name.
Only name.
She was you're sure? Because I could have sworn she was a Thunderknuckle all the way back, like at Ellis Island. She was a Thunderknuckle.
Yeah, all the way at. They didn't actually come in through Ellis. They came in through the Canadian border up by Montreal, I believe. Actually, funny story. I'm called Buzz Thunderknuckle, not a nickname. That's my given name, Buzz. Last name Thunderknuckle.
It's just a name that sort of screams nickname. You have to forgive me for.
No. Amazingly, I was born for radio, Buzz Thunderknuckle. But she was a Thunderknuckle, Eunice Thunderknuckle, and her mother was a Buzz Thunderknuckle.
So you're named after your grandmother?
Yeah, Barbara Buzz Thunderknuckle.
I'm sorry, so her name was Buzz Thunderknuckle?
Buzz-Thunderknuckle.
Oh.
Yeah, Barbara Buzz-Thunderknuckle. They hated it. She hated the name, so she dropped it. She just passed the Thunderknuckle under my mom, Eunice Thunderknuckle. Didn't really know my father very well. Don't even know what his last name is. He was apparently a sludge technician.
So you're actually named after your grandmother and your your great grandfather then, but his first name. His last name became your first name. You were named after two different Canadian great grandparents, is what you're telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Checks. That makes sense to me.
Isn't that a heck of a story?
Yeah, it's great.
That's how we got here today.
I've heard it so many times. It's beautiful every time.
It's some great commentary from Miguelito, as always. Well, Jared, so you've been crossing the country. You're a comedian. Up in the big stinky city.
That's not. Usually, that's not what they normally call it. But I'll agree with that. Yeah. The big.
I don't know.
Upwards
of 1 billion% positive that almost everybody calls it the big stink or the big stinky.
All right. Well, yeah. You would know that better than me because you obviously. I see a lot of books on the shelves. You're obviously a pretty big historian. I can see
there's actually nothing but liquor behind all those. Here, look at this. You just open that. They're all on hinges.
For a man who went to that much trouble to hide his liquor, you're pretty open about the secret.
I hide it from myself. I look and I think, I'm going to read those books one day, and then I remember, there's liquor behind them.
Wait, so you don't want yourself... You do it so that you don't read?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was an avid reader when I was a kid, and I got into some really weird stuff. Do you remember back in the day, I don't know if you're old enough to remember this, I'm from the slightly older generation, but people used to put out, they used to pass around these things they called smudge books, where, you'd
pass them around and...
smudge books.
Smudge books.
Yeah,
you know what smudge books are.
Yeah, everyone knows smudge
I'm old
books.
enough to know what a smudge book
But
is.
for people who don't know smudge books, it would be like you're at a bus station or something, right? And you see like an old man, he's kind of talking to himself, and you'd write down all the weird shit that he says, and then then you get on the bus, and you'd see another stranger, and you'd tap him on the shoulder, and you'd say, "Add to the smudge book, brother." And then they'd pass it around. Eventually you get what was a maybe 800, 900 page smudge book. It was kind of like a samizdat in the USSR. And these things would just circulate around. They get photocopied. And they were called smudge books because the photocopies... When you
photocopy, they don't. Yeah, they get smudged.
Photocopy, they get smudged.
Over time, yeah. Well, we had those when I was a kid too, but we weren't really actively still making those. We were getting secondhand smudges, and so you would get books that were photocopies of photocopies. And to be honest, we didn't know that origin story that you're just telling me right now. To me, if you ask me and people of my generation, what is a smudge book, they were those things you found and photocopies. There were things we found. I grew up kind of poor, so my bedding was made from shredded smudge books.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
so-
You're originally from Indiana. Is
That's
that
right,
correct?
from southern Indiana.
Southern Indiana.
Yeah.
Beautiful southern Indiana. What are the Rockies like?
There's no Rocky Mountains. Rocky Mountains, you mean?
Rocky
There's
Mountain.
no Rocky Mountains in Indiana.
Rocky Mountain High, baby.
Okay, well, but the Rocky Mountains are great. I've been there in Colorado and
Yeah.
some other places. Yeah,
Never been out of Bristleburg myself.
really,
Nope.
really.
My life is like those books over there.
But that explains because I got to tell you, your map on the wall there it's not very accurate.
No, I keep meaning to fill it in. I bought one of those maps that you get. They call them aspirational maps. You know when you buy pants?
Yeah,
Way too big because you're like, I'm going to bulk
I'm
up
gonna
this year.
bulk up, yeah.
I'm going to bulk up this year. Well, I bought one of those aspirational maps completely blank, right? And then I just drew in all the stuff I know, which is Bristleburg.
yeah.
And then all the rest of it, I'm going to fill in. I'm going to get there. But I am doing this radio
I had
show
a
every day.
grandfather who
Oh, me too.
oh, okay. Well, you had a grandfather who bought shorts that way.
Hmm.
He had pants, so he would buy shorts.
You mean there was almost nothing there, and then he'd fill in, he'd stitch little bits on?
No, he would start with long pants, but then he would buy the shorts to say, like, one day, like next year, that's the year I'm going to get kneecaps, finally. Because he had knees, but not the kneecaps.
Oh God, I had actually had a friend who suffered from that, and he would get he had these little velvet sacks full of marbles that he'd strap to the, what's that part called between? I always call it a knee.
You mean
the part-
behind the knee, that part?
just the
what they
part
call
between
the leg pit?
the top and the bottom of the leg. That's a knee, right?
Between the top and the bottom of the leg. On the front.
But if you do, that's a kneecap. And
That's a knee. Now, the kneecap, different story. But yeah, that's a knee.
okay, so he strapped these little velvet marble bags on top of his knees
Oh, to pretend that he had.
to pretend he had kneecaps. And you know what? It worked.
Yeah.
Nobody knew but me because he told me in secret. This is the first time. This is live here on QRZR.
There was a time where if you didn't do that, you couldn't join the army. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, folks, if you're finally tuning in, I just want to make sure that people are. All right, we're getting a link out there. We're doing this. We're getting into the 21st century with this wonderful, wonderful live stream technology because we know sooner or later it's always been hard to listen to this show because you can barely hear it within the confines of the city of Bristleburg. You can't hear it by the well because of the stuff they dumped in there. You can't hear it by the cow farm because of the cow radios, and those interfere with the stream. But QRZR, the Razor's Edge, if you're just tuning in.
Yeah, we've got 2 live viewers on the stream now.
Dear God, I don't often pray, but if you can
Looks
hear
like
me,
you are.
if you're,
All right.
oh my God,
We also have a caller. I don't know.
I love that. Let's go ahead and bring the caller on. And if you want to call in, remember again the number is 312-313-0582. Let's hear that first caller.
Let me just say here too. We've got a lot of people on the line, so if I don't get to you, this is.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And I'll
but-
say if you're calling with a question for me, the guest, then pretty much AMA right now.
Hello, we've got a caller. You just heard a beep. That means you're on. Who is this?
Hello?
Hi, you're live on the Razor's Edge. Who am I speaking to?
Is Dennis Knoxville?
Dennis Noghassel?
Dennis in Knoxville?
Oh, Dennis in Knoxville. Hey, Dennis. So welcome to the Razor's Edge. How you doing tonight?
Dennis in Knoxville.
Yeah, I heard that in
All right.
Knoxville,
How's it
Tennessee.
What's up?
I don't know. Why'd you call in, man?
Hello?
Did you have a question there, Dennis?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, how you doing?
Oh,
Hi.
I'm doing great. Great question. I'm doing great right now. Although earlier I thought maybe I was getting a little sick, but I think I could use more vitamin C.
Yeah, and my belly's itchy.
You can't have too much vitamin C. I always say. Am I on the line with Buzz?
Oh, baby, you got buzz.
Buzz, a long-time listener, first-time caller.
I think that must be true because I'd remember you, Dennis from Knoxville. And in fact, you have to be the first-time caller because normally you can't hear this radio show outside of Bristleburg. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I listen online on the YouTube.
Oh, I love that. The YouTube is getting us. It's
I pretty much use YouTube for everything.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite? Okay, let me give you an example. Sometimes I go online and I look up. Yeah. I go online and I look up beautiful seashell videos, just close-ups of like seashells and things. What's something like that you like to watch on the YouTube?
I like different kinds of bugs, I guess. Ant farms.
Ant farms.
Spider habitat. Maybe small reptile type.
Yeah, you ever see that video? You ever see that video, Dennis, of the big spiders farming people?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that one's crazy. The tiny little people crawling through that sand.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff, Dennis. We're gonna have to let you go because we got a lot of show to get here through today. Yeah, I'm sorry. You got something else?
Well, I kind of I wanted. Wait, what?
Oh God. Yeah, I'm listening.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
I said, speak your mind, Dennis.
Hello.
Do you have a guess for what this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to.
Yeah. Do you wait real quick before we let you go? Do you have a guess for what the secret word is? If you guess it right, you're gonna win a seashell collection.
Would it be cranium?
Oh, it is not cranium. Thanks for calling in, Dennis from Knoxville. All right, getting back to it. Jared,
yes.
Geez. So you do comedy up in the Big Stinky.
A little bit, yeah.
You're like what is that? Like so you're stand-up guy, you're doing stand-up. We get a lot of stand-ups come through here. Dom DeLuise was
I've
in
heard he stopped by
Bristleburg
town one time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw that when I got to the airport.
You should stop by the diner.
Oh, I'd love to,
and
yeah.
have a
We
DeLuise.
have an airport?
Dom DeLuise Regional Airport.
I've never been.
I've never been either. I just drove by. They drove me by when I got into town on the back of the truck that you sent to pick me up from the motel. They sort of drove me around, showed me the site. So, yeah, we drove by Dom DeLuise Airport. Said they're working on a statue.
Yes, they are working on a little statue of the airport.
Yeah, so that would be nice, because then you could see, if you put that in the center of town, then you wouldn't have to drive a guy out by the airport to go look at that, which would be great because of the smell.
Yeah, it's great. We were actually working on a lot of little statues because a lot of people, like, I was talking earlier about the fact that I've never left Bristleburg. Miguelito actually hasn't left about a 30-foot radius from the station here. So something that the mayor is proposing, Mayor Horatio Queef is proposing, is little statues all around town of many things you can see, like the airport, the diner, the well. So you'll have these little statues all around town, so you don't have to say walk down to the well. You walk right outside. You see a little copper statue of the well, and I think that's
Will there
great.
be little, chemicals inside the well like they dumped in the real well?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I love that. I've always been a fan of little tiny statues. You see a lot of statues, like, why so big? My brother, actually, when I was growing up, had a huge collection, not huge collection, but it was a small collection of miniature statues of trains.
Oh, I love
and he'd
that.
put them on little miniature statues of train tracks, and they were actually motion statues, so they'd actually run around the tracks. They had little statues of townspeople and stuff that go around it, and kind of created statues of mountains, and it had a whole sort of statue station there too.
Were they the mountains that you grew up around?
I didn't actually. I grew up in Indiana, so there's not really
Mountain territory,
no,
no?
we've got hills. We've got some mighty hills.
I mean, well,
I think give them a few years, maybe. I guess. I
oh
don't
yeah.
know.
I also love tiny little things. You ever see that video of the spiders farming the little people?
I don't think I've seen that.
It's hilarious. They're crawling through sand. It's on YouTube.
It
I
sounds
believe.
frightening. It doesn't. That sounds terrifying.
I think it's amazing, folks. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to QRZR, the Razor's Edge, Bristleburg's only radio station, now streaming live on YouTube. Can you just say the whole link? This will be so fun. What's the YouTube link?
What? What did you want?
Nothing. If you're listening out there, once again, that number is 312-313-0582. You can call in anytime, and make sure when you call in that you guess the secret word for the chance to win that beautiful...
Is it okay if I give everybody a hint?
Seashell collection. Yeah, absolutely. Although I want to be clear, Jared does not know the secret word.
I was just going to say it is not cranium. So
Yeah, that is a good hint.
Gives you,
That's a great hint.
That's a push forward.
That's you know what? You know why that's such a good hint is because we have a specific rule. We could, but we do not publish all of the previous guesses. You would have to go back and listen to every single show.
I'm sorry. This has been the same secret word on this show since
57 months. Not since the first episode.
The 50s.
That first one was guessed right away. That caller got it right away.
Yeah, 57 months.
You
Also,
just
I just want to say, if you're calling in, please be patient when you call in. We're still working on the phone systems. And, of course, as always, you'll notice that sometimes we curse here. We've been on a 13-minute delay since 2011. I made some bad judgment calls on 9/11.
Yeah.
And the FCC put us on warning. They put us on a 13-minute delay. So if you're calling in, particularly if you're not listening to the live stream, and hey, fuck, we can curse all we want, but, we're bleeping them out if you're listening to terrestrial radio. We've been on a 13-minute delay since 2011. So if you are calling in, if you're listening to the broadcast, make sure to remember that everything you're hearing, you're going to be calling in. We're going to be 13 minutes later in the show.
A little bit delayed there.
Yeah.
But when you call in, you hear a live stream of the show, and that's not delayed.
That's not delayed. So that's
So
right. That's the important thing
to
remember.
We've got another caller. I don't know if you want to take.
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring him on the air.
Okay.
Caller.
Caller from 703. You are on the line.
Love that.
Hello, my name is Jason, and I live in Virginia.
Hey, Jason, Virginia. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I just wanted to say hi.
Oh, it's so good to hear from you. Let me ask you this. We were talking earlier about that YouTube video with the giant spiders farming the tiny little people. You ever see that?
I think it's called The Matrix, right?
Yeah, it could be. I go on the search bar and I type in big spiders, little people, sand, and that's usually what brings it up.
There's sand in the video.
Yeah, they're in a big, like an ant farm, but they're tiny little people crawling through it.
Oh,
I'm looking it up. Big spiders, little people, sand.
Yeah, you bringing it up?
All right. What do you want to ask me about it?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is...
What do you want to ask about?
what I want to... You're calling me, brother. You're on with the Thunder.
Yeah, you're the host of the show. What do you want to ask him about?
We got this wonderful guest, Jared Jeffries.
You said to me, have you seen the big spider video? I thought you were going to ask me something.
Oh, yeah. Did you like it?
Oh, yeah, I love it. I had it bookmarked.
Wait, why were you searching? You know what? I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty. You have anything that you want to talk to about with Jared Jeff? We got him.
Yeah, do you have any questions
all
for
the way
me?
from the big stinky.
I'm kind of a star a little bit.
He's a big guy.
I want to ask.
Yeah.
I want to ask Jared Jeffries if
please.
I wanted to get into comedy, and another comedian in a different city already had my name. Am I allowed to use my name, or do I have to pick a different
First of
name?
all, can I say before you get into comedy, like already, please don't, because it's stressful enough for me already without another guy out there. But if there's already another guy with your same name, what region are you in? You said you're in Virginia. What part of Virginia? Okay, I think he's gone. Okay, so
I'm right outside of D.C.
You're right outside of D.C.
in
okay.
Boston.
Okay, well, as long as you're not in New York, then I'm okay. Is your name? What'd you say your name was? It's not my name, right?
My name is Jason.
Oh, okay. That's not close to my name at all. I don't think you have anything to worry about, honestly.
I've been around for years. I've been doing radio for years, Jason. I'll tell you this. I've never, hand to God, I've never seen a comedian named Jason. I can't think of one. So I think you're good.
I think there's other guys out there who are about. Can I tell a true story for 1 sec?
Yeah, I'd love to.
I actually spent about 2 years as Gallagher 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my own region carved out in Connecticut. I had New Haven area, and just basically anything from the lower, like southeastern sort of part of Connecticut there, where I was allowed to be Gallagher for as long as I wanted. And
Gallagher, I'm sorry. I don't want to stop you. This is the craziest thing. I was a Gallagher 5 impersonator.
Wait, no, I could have sworn you were a real Gallagher 5. You
I
were
was
not
not
a
a
Gallagher...
real Gallagher 5. I was
No,
a Gallagher
I've
5.
seen you do Gallagher before. You're a Gallagher 5. You were an
No, I was
official
that
Gallagher.
good.
I won't believe it. You
I
were an
was
official
so
Gallagher.
good. Everybody thought that. Everybody thought, this guy's a Gallagher 5. You know what?
You know, you're lucky I'm not officially part of the business anymore. Because if I were, I mean, I'd be forced to try to bring you in on that.
I'm not. This is
To have somebody poaching territories is insane. But I mean, if you're as good as you were, I mean, take what you can get.
true story. DeLuise himself,
Dom DeLuise.
Dom DeLuise, when
He
he
stopped
stopped by
at the airport,
Brizzleburg, he said it was the best he'd ever seen
At
at
being
pretending to be
Gallagher
Gallagher 5. I wasn't actually.
Let me just jump in here. Just to answer the caller's question, I think if you have the same name as somebody else, that's probably fine.
Yeah, I think we're all agreed on that.
I don't remember.
Jason, do you have any? Before we let you go, do you have any guesses for the secret word so you can win that beautiful seashell collection?
I'm gonna guess Thunder Knuckle.
Oh my God! No, I'm sorry, it is not. But Jason from Virginia, thanks so much for calling in. We're gonna have to let you go and get back to the show. Jared.
Yes.
So, originally from Indiana,
Yeah.
you, I believe, spent some time in Chicago.
I certainly did.
And you had this show there, and it was an improv show with a group called The Inklings.
Yeah, that's true.
Why don't you give me a taste of that?
To give you a taste of
Yeah, some of the shows you did.
you want me to do
some of
a
those-
10% or 9% improv show over on the mic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the thing with that is, have you ever seen an improv show before?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Do that one where you were the lady. Do that one where you were the
What was
lady.
Okay. Okay. So, where does this? How do I even begin with how to answer that?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Just before you get into that, just real quick, we got to do a spot here. Mule Breeders Society of America. Want you to know that mules don't just come about. They have to be bred. You got to get yourself a donkey, and you got to get yourself a horse. And donkeys and horses, they don't naturally love each other. No, you gotta put the work in. And that's where the Mule Breeders of America come in. There aren't as many mule breeders in this country anymore, but mules built this country. If you've been to the Grand Canyon, that whole thing was drug out by a pack of mules. So remember, when you're donating to charity this year, donate to the Mule Breeders of America. Breeding mules. All right, Jared, you're about to do that improv show for us.
That's the thing is that if you've never, it takes about nine people to do that show, and an audience to feed off of, and it's actually a really movement based. The group does a lot of movement.
You get real high before you do that, right?
I've never
What's
never,
a big drug
not
in the
once.
community up there? What's everyone doing?
In Chicago?
Yeah, they
a
shooting
lot
up
of
or what?
alcohol and a lot of alcohol. Apparently, there's some hallucinogens and some cocaine around. Apparently, I don't know.
Not doing a lot of needlework,
but I think there's a little bit of that. Needlework?
Yeah.
Oh, not that I'm aware of. Not in the community. I think that's more.
That's
of,
what the guys that I knew were big into H. They called it needlepoint.
But you've never seen improv before, so these were not improvisers.
No, they said some weird
yeah,
stuff.
that sounds
man.
like a stand-up, maybe.
And here, I'll tell you this: they would say some weird stuff. They go on for hours, and later when I'd say, and we used to bring them on the radio show all the time. We'd have these H heads on, and we'd bring them on the show, and I'd say, "Hey, remember that bit you were doing the other night? Just like I did to you, flawlessly. They recreate it. Sometimes there'd be 10, 20 of them in a room, and I'd bring one guy in. I'd say, "Remember that bit you all were doing?" They do the whole thing. They go.
Were
on
they
for
already
hours.
doing the bit when you walked in, though?
Hmm?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it's a little bit of a tip off. I think they might have I think they may have been high on drugs.
Oh yeah. But
that might
I
have
mean,
been-
I think that from your description, that's improv, right?
Well, I'm actually in town. I'm promoting a show that I'm putting together.
In
Right now.
Bristleburg?
Well, I'm promoting it in Bristleburg. I have no idea why. To be perfectly honest, I'm not completely sure why I was agreed to do this.
Well, they're working on your
Show.
bus, so.
Yeah, well, that's the problem too. Is that my mega bus broke down outside. I don't have a tour bus or something. No,
Yeah, we don't get a terrible lot of tourism here in Bristleburg, so we have
Well,
a
the
we
thing
have a
is
mega
that
trap.
They had just had that bus service. There was nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
bus when we-
there's a mega trap installed on the only highway through town. It's a big magnet underneath the road, and it will just pull the undercarriage right out of any vehicle big enough. You can't bring a truck through here.
Okay, so I'm just basically here at your behest then until.
Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm.
So
okay.
what's this
Why
show
not?
you're promoting? Where are you doing it? Up in Chicago, you said?
Up in Chicago, yeah, we're gonna on Wednesday. We're gonna try it out. It's just we're gonna throw up the flagpole and see if somebody burns it. We'll see what happens.
And where can we watch that live stream?
It's not gonna be a live stream of that. It's gonna be a live.
Oh, that's just a shame. They're so good.
Yeah, they seem pretty good. Once if people know about them. But yeah, we're hoping for But maybe we'll add a live stream to it. We'll set up a phone or something, add a live stream. Maybe we can get an extra 2 people or so.
Yeah, and you just got all the information out there about the show just now, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be at CIC Theater on Wednesday.
Kick.
Yeah, we can try that out. But yeah, so that's really all I have to promote. Other than that, I would just promote please fix my bus, let me leave, things like that. I'd love to send a shout out to the authorities or whatever, while I'm on here. Anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, support our police, because if they're not out there, someone else might be. Right? Hell, the other day I was out there. I was pretty drunk. I'm whipping crowbars at windows all up and down the street. Had a big bag of crowbars. You can get actually that Donnie's Hardware Store. Crowbars, 10 for a nickel, 50 for a dollar. Stop in now. We've got too many crowbars. Donnie's Hardware Store.
If they're 10 for a nickel, couldn't you get 50?
Donnie said he doesn't think
for
people should have
5
that many
nickels?
crowbars.
That'd be 25 cents, right?
Well, it's not a good business model. I mean, take it
So
up with
would
Donnie.
Would you get 200?
Love that. Make it later on the sound effects. How you
Never
doing over
felt
there?
more heard, yeah.
Quiet tonight.
Pretty good. But a lot of technical stuff to deal with.
Folks, if you're just tuning in, this is QRZR, the Razor's Edge, Bristleburg's only radio station. If you want to call in tonight, the number is 312-313-0582. Earlier today, I was thinking about money.
Sweet, sweet cash.
Oh, yeah, man. You like money, Jared?
Yeah, when the money I've come across has been pretty nice. Yeah.
You ever bury any?
No, I've never buried money. I've never found money buried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bury money constantly.
Why do you bury money?
I don't know. I started doing it when I was a kid. Started burying these little. You remember you used to get corn nickels?
Corn nickels?
Yeah, you could carve a nickel out of corn.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So you used to get these corn nickels, and it was money for kids, right?
Yeah.
But you could use it to buy more corn, make more nickels, buy more. That was the slogan: buy more corn, make more nickels.
Yeah.
Corn nickels.
Yeah. Those were kind of worn out. They'd play those commercials like on Labor Day or whatever when I was a kid. But
Yeah. So I thought I was a real smart kid, and I thought, hey, I don't need to buy more corn. I'm going to plant my corn nickel, grow more corn, make more corn nickel, plant more corn nickels, grow more corn.
Yeah.
I was going to be a bank. I was going to be a corn bank. So that's where it started. I started burying that.
I tell you, I was digging up a gopher hole the other day, and I think I came across one of the sacks of your corn nickels.
Sacks of corn nickels. I bet you did.
Yeah, you burying them all over. You must, because I've been digging around my yard a lot. Found a few.
Age 5 through 18, I probably buried 700-800 sacks of corn nickels all around town.
Did they not grow into stalks of corn? I don't understand.
I put them in sacks. I really fucked up on that one. Turns out, I don't know if they can grow into corn, but I put them in heavy mylar sacks.
Mylar.
They last a long time. They were in pristine condition.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pristine.
But,
all those nickels have to be worth something now.
I threw them in the garbage.
You can buy corn with them.
Okay.
I threw them away.
I think. They're still backed by silver, but it's a very small amount of silver. It's just a tiny, tiny, tiny little speck of silver.
Like a little statue of silver.
Yeah, a tiny little statue of silver. It looks like a speck, but if you put it under a microscope, it's worth about 1,000th of a cent. But you can, if you bring that, and you have to bring it by hand, and you have to walk it one at a time to the Corn Museum in Washington, D.C. That'll give you a tiny little microscopic statue made of silver.
Oh, of what?
A corn nickel.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, that's where it started, and then I started burying, bigger amounts, real nickels, dimes. What's bigger than a dime?
A quarter's bigger than a dime. A nickel is bigger than a dime, technically.
Yeah.
Penny's bigger than a dime.
So
All coins are bigger than dimes.
All coins are bigger than dime. Not a corn nickel.
Okay. I'm just familiar with the commercial. We didn't have those actually when I was a kid. We would watch the commercial, and it'd be like a bygone kind of thing, like when your parents would talk about, when they would make their own baseball or whatever.
I love that. Anyway, I bury a heck of a lot of money. So moving on to this next piece, Jared. You're a comedian. You're a funny guy. You do a lot of sounds.
I've been known to dabble in sounds.
We like to play a little game here on the show called Sounds. I'm gonna do a little sound for you,
okay?
And you're gonna try and guess.
So it's really not about if I do sounds; it's about if I can guess sounds.
Those who can do, and those who do can guess.
All right.
Those who can't teach.
Yeah. So here's the first one.
Okay. And I have to guess what that sounds.
Yeah. What is that?
I would guess. Now, and I'm gonna walk through what my thought process is here a little bit, because the thing is that now don't say yes or no, or even tell me if I'm well. You can make sounds, I guess, but I'm gonna be telling that. To me, it sounds like a little bit of an eating sound, a nibbling sound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, kind of something sloppy, something wet but viscous, sort of thick, brown, even, right? But that's what it sounds like. That's not necessarily what I think it is. If I had to guess, if you put a gun to my head and said, say what this is, or otherwise I'm going to pull the trigger, I'm going to say you're actually kissing a very small squirrel. It's little loving kisses of the small squirrel. That's a snake.
Spot on for both.
Wow.
Spot on for both.
Wow.
All right.
That second one was quick.
Yeah, we got one more for you here.
Okay.
Oh, help me. Help me, I'm trying to dig my way out.
Keep going.
Follow me to the light. Oh, the sand. It's too thick. I can't dig my way out.
Okay.
I
I'm
know
gonna
this
cheat.
one.
I think I didn't mean to cheat, but I could actually tell that you weren't really doing that. I saw you hit the button on the YouTube video.
We got a caller.
All right, caller.
Are you ready? Here we go.
You're on the line with Buzz Thunderknuckle and the gang.
Hello.
Hello, what's your name, caller?
This is Lewis, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Lewis, where you calling from, brother?
I'm calling from Cooper.
Cooper. Beautiful Cooper.
That's right. Yeah. Just outside Bristleburg.
Just outside Bristleburg. You know, I've never been to Cooper. I can see it from my house on the edge of town because it's only about maybe a half a mile away. I could throw a stone there if I could throw a stone very, very far.
Yeah, I tell you what, you're not missing much, Buzz.
All right, I love that. What's the big attraction in Cooper?
Well, there's a couple. There's the Skillet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not very familiar with
Right,
Cooper.
yeah,
Is that a large skillet or
What is that?
the skillet? I'm not very familiar with Cooper. I'm from New York. It's a large skillet? Is it?
No, it's a wolf that's shaped like a skillet.
A wolf that's shaped like a. Okay,
Wolf.
Now that makes more sense. Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt.
So there's that, and then yeah, no, it's fine. And then there's also the world. Sorry about that. I'm eating some spaghetti. The world's largest Toyota Camry.
No, that one's a big one. Actually, I can see it from my house. It actually messes with the magnet on the highway over here. It's so
How much
big.
larger than a normal Toyota Camry would that be?
2/3.
2/3?
2/3.
Yeah.
2/3 larger.
Oh, 2/3. Okay.
Let me ask you this: as a confirmed spaghetti man myself, what do you like on your spaghetti?
Mostly ketchup, sometimes lime juice.
That's nice. I like that. I just do
Yourself?
I do it scampi style, where I do shrimp paste and butter.
I've had it. It's very good.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
you should try that.
He makes it every night on the studio. You make it every night.
Do you guys have a shrimp pastorium over there in Cooper?
Say it again there.
Do you have a shrimp pastorium? You know the store, the shrimp pastorium,
I lost you.
the place that only. That's great. The place that only sells shrimp paste.
I usually, when I need shrimp paste, I usually can't get it in Cooper. I've got to go into town or down 128 out Snellville way.
We got one here, and you should come over to Bristleburg. We got one here because of in Bristleburg we actually have 8 red lobsters over here. We don't have a reddest lobster yet, but the shrimp pastoriums supply a lot of the.
Yeah, you guys have that reddish lobster, right?
No, oh man, I wish, brother. I absolutely wish. We're getting that reddest lobster. If I have anything to say, Buzz Thunderknuckle, hear me first. Here on the radio.
You're cutting in and out here, Buzz. I'm sorry, I'm missing you a little bit. I had an important question for you. I
Yeah, go ahead.
hope you have time to answer.
Hit me. Ring the buzzer, baby.
Oh, okay, great, Buzz. Yeah, I was wondering where you stood on HR 138.
Oh God, huge question. HR 138 is a local proposition that's coming.
What's up, Doc?
Yeah. So HR 138.
That's the bill they're voting on next weekend about who can and cannot sell hot dogs and voting rights.
Sell hot dogs and voting rights, I believe he said.
So I'm not from here. So help me out here, Buzz. They're voting on who can sell voting rights and hot dogs, or just that's a tag they tacked on the voting rights thing to the who can sell hot dogs.
They tack the voting rights onto the hot dogs. It is
I'm looking
legal.
for Buzz here.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, buddy. It's legal in our district to sell voting rights. You can use them. They're fungible like a corn nickel. You can take your voting rights, and I can take my voting rights. I can sell them to you. Now you got 2 voting rights. You can take those 2 voting rights. You can sell them to someone else. People can collect the voting rights. So they're trying to bundle that up with hot dog sales, which are absolutely through the roof. And I gotta say, anything that's good for commerce is good by Buzz. So I'm pro this bill. Now, before we let you go, my man, do you have a guess for what the secret word is? Oh, did you lose?
I think we lost him.
We lost him.
I
That's
think we
okay.
lost him.
Go ahead and call back next week. We're going to give you, if you call back next week, we're going to give you 2 guesses on the secret word. So, Jared, I was doing a little reading about you, and you got this web video up there. Web video, sound video.
in a while.
Yeah, you got some web videos up there, and you got a what's it called when you do a sound video?
A
sound
stream, like a
Yeah, but there's no picture.
podcast.
Yeah, you got this podcast up there.
Yeah,
Where it's
one
like
of those in a longer.
it's
time.
like, hey, alphabet murder.
Yeah, well, I did a long time ago. I did a series called "Troubles Up in Alphabet Town." It was
I
a
haven't
serialized noir.
listened to it,
Yeah,
but
okay.
there were a couple comments.
Yeah.
And they said it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wrote a second series, but I've never
Where can we listen to
made
that?
it. Well, I haven't made it, so you'd have to.
Don't be so down.
If
on
anyone
yourself.
wants
You
to
should make
pay
it.
me, I'd love to make it, but it's it's a lot of work.
I'll pay you right now. You take sacks of corn nickels. Take me a while to dig them up.
I'll look into that, but I don't think that's something I can take right now.
You know what's kind of amazing? I looked at the prices. Those Mylar bags actually worth more than the nickels.
I would imagine most things are worth more than 1,000th of a penny.
Not in memories.
Well, do you have a lot of memories with the Mylar bags?
Oh God, I wish I'd be able to dig up those bags right now if I could remember where I buried them.
But it sounds like you buried enough that they're pretty much everywhere.
Folks, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to QRZR, the Razor's Edge, Bristleburg's only radio station. Please call in. Our number is 312-313-0582. So, we have a little bit we like to do here. We already did sounds. Remember this?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That's
We call it the Drink It Challenge.
Okay.
We're just going to look around, see if there's anything you could drink.
I'm going to look around.
Okay, yeah, let's look around.
All right. Have you found something to drink?
I've got a little bit of water in this bottle.
Oh, you ruined it,
Oh,
brother.
you can't say what it is.
No.
You didn't explain that to me.
Yeah, well, I thought you'd heard
Well,
the
I've
show
got a little
before.
bit of something here
I thought
in a
you said.
bottle.
I think you said earlier that you were so happy to be on the show you listen to it all the time.
No, I did. I absolutely never said that.
I could have sworn. Miguelito,
never-
You heard that, right?
We'll go back to the tape. We'll play
This is
it.
on tape.
We'll go back later.
Okay. All right.
And then we're
There's
just. Can
no
we just?
way I would have said it. I'm here because your giant magnet pulled my bus in.
Wait, what didn't you say?
I did not say that I at any point have listened to this show. I'm not giving you a soundbite. I'm going to say it in a way that you can't get. You're not going to steal a soundbite out of me. I did not say that I have been a listener of this. Not a listener to the show at any time. I didn't say I was a listener to the show. My name is Jared Jeffries, and
Jared
I am
Jeffries,
not
everybody.
a listener to the show.
So up in the big
I like to
stinky,
edit that.
you still doing improv? You still working
There's
on?
no way.
You're doing all these auditions. When you go on an
I don't
audition up there,
audition, right?
yeah, you're a working comedian.
I'm not
You,
really.
you
yet.
go on all these auditions.
Okay.
Okay. So you got a lot of friends who go on auditions. What are they? How are they doing?
Oh, it really affects their their self-worth. For sure. Yeah. I mean, you go in there, you see a whole room full of people that look exactly like you, that dress just like you, only they're maybe a little better looking in some cases because they take care of themselves. And you go in there and they're all practicing the same line, and somebody tells you that there's a different version of you out there that's a little better. So it's that can hurt you a little bit.
Interesting story. I actually saw a different version of myself the other day. He's carrying 3 canes.
3 canes?
3 canes. Not walking with him. He's carrying 3 canes in his hand. Each one was made from a different precious metal. I couldn't say for certain, but one appeared to be silver, one appeared to be gold, and one appeared to be a beautiful emerald-studded platinum. He's just walking down the street, not a care in the world. I'm coming back from a doctor's appointment at this time. I had something wrong with my feet. I had to get shaved off. And this guy, that's a funny thing because he's carrying canes, but light as hell on his feet. And I'm hobbling along. I see this guy. I say this is I think I'm walking into a mirror. I'm the spitting image of Buzz Thunderknuckle. And this guy comes along swinging these 3 beautiful, beautiful canes, almost juggling them in the air, these 3 canes. He walks right past me, doesn't even look me in the face. That ever happened in New York, up at the Big Sneaky?
No, I've seen a lot of people that look maybe similar to me, or people tell me that they look similar to me, but I can't say that I've ever seen my doppelganger carrying 3 canes.
2 canes?
Two, or even 1. Honest to God, I don't think I've ever seen a man carrying a cane. I've seen a man use a cane. I've seen a man eat a candy cane. I've seen a man, raise a cane. It's a little bit of a joke there, but no, I can honestly say I don't think I've ever met myself. Was he a future you? Did he look older than you? Did he look world weary?
He looked happier.
Oh,
He looked incredibly happy.
was he in shape?
You think he had the same problem with his foot that you were just coming back from?
I'm telling you, he was light on his feet. He looked like Fred Astaire dancing on Ginger Rogers.
Did he look like he had ever had? Maybe it was an alternate dimension where he hadn't had the thing shaved off his foot. Maybe that was the life you could have had.
You think he was so comfortable in himself that he said, I gotta go out, I gotta buy 3 successively pricey canes.
I mean, perhaps it was some situation where he was burdened to have to carry the canes. If he was
Like
under some sort
a
of
genie situation?
yeah, like a spell or something where he must carry these canes. Maybe he was looking. Did he look? He said he didn't look at you, right?
Didn't look at
Because maybe
if
he's
anything,
looking
he looked
for
right
the
through
man
me.
who needs the cane, the man worthy of each cane. And
And that's so interesting. And that's something that my great-grandpapa always used to say.
great grandpapal.
Papal.
Great-grandpapal.
He's like the Pope.
He was papal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
He was a papal man. Yeah, he always used to say, we're all looking for that man with the cane.
Well, that seems very specific. That seems like maybe your grandfather was trying to warn you about something coming in the future.
I think it's
That's
a common
portent.
saying.
That's,
It's what people say.
I've never heard that saying. I really think that your grandfather may have been trying to warn you of some very specific.
It didn't work.
I guess not.
On the issue of genies, though, I will say that Bristlebird's got it's almost an infestation. You open up a box or a lamp or a cardboard box or
One of your bags of corn nickels.
bags of corn nickels. You unbundle some tissue paper or unfold a paper airplane, and you're just as likely to have a djinn or an enchanted grasshopper hop out. Most of them don't do much.
Make for a fun unboxing video on YouTube or something.
You ever come across a djinn?
DJIN.
Mm-hmm.
Shin. No, personally, no. I've never come across a genie, any kind of spirit like that. I thought I saw a fairy once, but it was a Barbie doll that had been thrown.
Oh God,
thrown
like
out a
that
window.
song. I thought I saw a fairy.
I don't know that song.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Jared, so good to have you on the show. Folks, Jared Jeffries here. He's going to be in, if his bus gets fixed, he's going to be in Chicago?
Yeah, in Chicago. This is for all those listeners out there that for all over the world. I guess getting this, Chicago at 8 p.m. on Wednesday.
On
We're
Wednesday
gonna do a
at-
little test to figure out what works and what doesn't, and that sort of thing. It'll be a hoot and a half.
And you got a ton of other shows you want to plug. Just go ahead and roll those through.
I think I'm doing a show a couple Thursdays from now.
Mhm.
Yeah, of sort of some kind of a put together improv show in New York. Yeah.
So specific. I hope
Yeah.
people show up.
Yeah, I would just tell people if you get to New York, ask around. They know who I am.
You got
up
a
there.
website?
They know what I do. Yeah, got a couple.
He's got a couple. We don't even have one.
That's great. What's a good one?
A good website?
Yeah.
Oh man, you know what? I'm a real big fan of when I was in middle school. I found a website about experiments done on Twinkies. They'd put them in a microwave. They'd put them in a toaster. They'd throw them into the bathtub. That's probably the most fun I ever had on a website.
Ah,
So I'd
good
recommend
stuff.
that one.
And for me, Buzz Thunderknuckle, I want to recommend once again, go to YouTube and type in Big Spider, Little People.
Sand.
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 And pull up that
I think if you just type in Big Spider Little People, it auto completes sand, right?
Well, no, if you type in Big Spider Little People, you're going to get that TLC,
that TLC show, yeah.
Mhm. Which is good, but
It's
it's
a
not.
good show.
It's a
They're
good
unlikely
show.
friends, but they, okay.
Yeah. And they're always having to drop that plexiglass divider to keep them from hurting each other. Miguelito, final thoughts before we leave tonight.
I just wanted to know, Jared, you got any females waiting for you back in New York?
I do. I've got a live-in full-time girlfriend. Oh no. Where'd you get that?
You know, we got connections.
Okay, well, it's an invasion of my privacy.
You want to send a shout out to your live-in girlfriend?
Yeah. Hey, Rebecca, how's it going?
Wow.
Well,
I
you
don't
have
think-
to be very
I don't
quiet.
think-
if
yeah.
you-
Do you hear?
Oh.
There it is.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I had some technical problems to start out tonight, but Really appreciate you checking us out. We're going to try to be here as many various days as we can, but check back online. You'll see the next day. I think it's going to be about 2 weeks before the next show.
Yeah, we might do one before then. We'll see.
We might do it before
Impromptu.
then. Check back on the YouTube site, on the Facebooks, etc. I'm Buzz Thunderknuckle. This is QRZR, the Razor's Edge, and as we always say, don't get cut, but get as near the razor edge as you can.